is Dios Steiner, and I'm here today to persuade you about being agree with the sex offender registration and notification at SORNA. Did you know that sexual abuse affects everyone, all age, all race, and ethnicities in all areas of the country? The sex offender registration and notification at SORNA demands that every sex offender must register in the state where the offense was committed. Many people believe that sex offender registration should not be required because it can represent an incursion into a sex offender's life. While some people will not agree that sex offenders should be registered, other people believe that they have the right to be fully aware of their surroundings by knowing where and who the sex offenders are. I studied and researched about the sexual offender registration and notification at SORNA over the past days to gain knowledge about it using scholarly journal articles, ebooks, and books. Explaining why sex offender registration and notification at SORNA may a way to keep children safe. Now you may be thinking, I must agree with the SORNA? Yes, you must agree. SORNA was created to protect the public from sex offenders and offenders against children. But what is SORNA and why it started? Sexual offenders are a problem because they are a public problem because they can affect our life. Every children all over the country can be attacked, terrorized, raped, murdered, and in some cases banished without a trace by sex offender. For these reasons, the sex offender registration and notification at SORNA was created. Sex offenders are more likely to offend if they had a prior offense. In 2006, the United States established this at SORNA that demand that every sex offender must register with their state where the offense was committed. By this, people can understand that having this register helps to prevent this type of crime. Sexual offenders are more likely to offend when they had a prior conviction. According to Smith et al., in an attempt to minimize the likelihood of sexual offenders reoffending, many policies were created in 1990. One of those was the Megan Law of 1996. According to Corrigan, Megan Nicole Kanka was a 7-year-old and she was called into a neighbor's home with the hope to see a puppy. Shortly after, Megan was abducted, raped, murdered in New Jersey by a sex offender that had a crime before. Consequently, if her parents had had the chance to know that the sex offender who attacked her daughter was living in front of their door, maybe their daughter would be alive today. People should know that why it's important to keep this register alive. What you can do to help you to keep your children safe. I propose you to agree with the sex offender registration and notification at SORNA and educate about it. Also, you can donate to organizations like Megan Nicole Kanka Foundation to help to maintain the public informed about missing children. One of the most significant ways to prevent is through education and awareness. According to Corey Cole, in 1996, Megan Love created a system of sex offender registration and notification where many information is available for the public. As I said before, this law was reinforced in 2006 with the Silent One Adam Walsh. This has maintained an online public register where you can go and can visit the National Sex Offender Public website to get involved. But remember, sex offenders do not have a particular law. They can be anyone. Communities want their children to be safe, and if they know where or how sex offenders are, they feel safer and can be aware of their surroundings. Imagine that your child is adopted, raped, and you later know that he is murdered. Now imagine that your child is adopted and you never see he or her again. Then imagine that you discover that the person who raised your child was living in front of your house and you didn't know. There are hundreds of families in our nation that will not be allowed to have the dignity to get their child because their children will never be found. According to Howard, on October 22, 1989, An 11-year-old boy named Jacob Weatherly was riding his bike along a country with his best friend and a younger brother. A person took this kid, and until today, no, Jacob has never been seen alive again. It is hard to imagine that something like this happened to you, but without SORNA, this situation could happen more often. Sex offender registration may be a way to keep children safe, but remember that is not the only way. You must be informed about it. Remember that many of these persons are recidivists. According to Sydney, recidivism involves the measure of whether or not an individual commits another offense. With this in mind, SORNA was created to help to reduce the rate of recidivism. All in all, sex offender registration as SORNA is a tool that helps to be informed about sex offenders. Many children continue to be abducted, raped, and murdered today. It is true that SORNA helps. However, people must be informed about the signals of sexual abuse and how they can help to protect their children. Now you know why it's important to agree with SORNA and how this register contributes to a safe surrounding for your children. So I hope you will join me to agree with this sex offender and notification at SORNA and donate your time or money to the organization Megan Nicole Kanka Foundation that helps to distribute information about missing children. Within the next 7 days, I encourage you to find out how many sexual offenders are around you by visiting the Sexual Offender and Predator Search for Florida. Thank you.